Hi everybody, thank you for tuning in. My name is Brenda Sillas. I'm a weight loss strategist and nutrition coach and really busy mom of two. I know that when it comes to video choice, you have a ton of choices, so thank you for tuning into my video. Today's video is going to be all about meal prepping and how to get started. I'm going to keep it really light and simple because I want you to be successful. So let's get started. Step number one when you're getting started with meal prep is the importance of containers. I'm going to be showing you some containers that I use. I'm going to talk about how I use my containers, why they're super important, and then just demonstrate some of my favorite containers. So step number one, or some of the containers that you might want to use are something like mason jars. And you want to be sure that for mason jars, you have the appropriate lid. I get these at Target, at Amazon, and these plastic lids I really like because they won't rust if you get the metal lids. So mason jars and these plastic lids are a super essential, and just be sure that for all your containers, you have the appropriate lids. Get rid of whatever is not matching. So mason jars and these plastic containers are something that I use for like overnight oats, and something else that I'm going to show you here in this video. One of my favorite containers. Another one of my favorite containers are these containers that have a snap lid to them. And the reason why I like these is because they're very secure, and they have this like edge on them where the sauces won't spill. So if you throw your lunch bag around, you can feel safe and confident that nothing is going to spill over or leak. I tend to use more glass containers just because if you are going to be microwaving things, it's just a little bit safer and healthier for you. I won't get into the details about that, but I do prefer glass containers for my lunches to go and even just to keep in the fridge. I like this particular container because I can just use this for salads. It doesn't have any compartments, so this container would be good to just throw in a salad and toss it in there and throw it in your lunch bag. The other container that I love is this one. It's by the same company with the same snap lid. But I love this container because it has a compartment. So maybe you're somebody that doesn't like a huge salad, and that's okay. So you can maybe have a smaller side salad and put your carbohydrates and your proteins here. But if you do want to have a bigger salad and want to just have a smaller side of your carbohydrates and proteins, this one does have the compartment. So this one is great too. And last but not least, I also love to have smaller containers. Again, from the same company. It has the snap lid where things won't spill. It is glass, but this is a smaller container, and you can use this for like your snacks, or if you want to throw in some yogurt, make some chia seed pudding. This is great for a snack or like a smaller side salad or a smaller side dish. So these are the containers that I'm going to be using today, but I do want to stress the importance of, before you get started with any type of meal prep, get your containers in order and make sure you toss anything that doesn't have the appropriate pair to it. All right, so the next step, let's talk a little bit about the ingredients. Now, some of the ingredients that I'm going to share with you in a little bit are just very basic ingredients that I happen to already have in my refrigerator and in my pantry. Some of them are vegan, some of them are not vegan. The majority of them are naturally gluten-free and plant-based. But the key takeaway is I want you to focus on what you already have in your refrigerator, in your pantry, in your kitchen. And I'm going to be demonstrating how I go about preparing my meals by focusing on healthy carbohydrates, healthy fats, and healthy protein, regardless if you're vegan, vegetarian, or you're trying to eat a more plant-based diet. If you're just meal prepping, these are the key ingredients, some kind of staples that you want to start integrating into your meal prep. Right here, I have some mozzarella cheese, but it's actually a vegan mozzarella cheese. This is just for those of you that are vegan or are trying to be more plant-based. You don't have to use a vegan mozzarella cheese, but I just like to add some variety. So you can just use regular mozzarella cheese. I like it shredded because it gives me more opportunity to just throw it onto salads or throw it on a burrito, or just gives you more opportunities to mix it up. Over here, I have this edamame and corn and red bell pepper mix that I actually got at Trader Joe's. It was frozen. So you can take advantage of convenience in those ways. And I love this because, again, I can just get really creative and use it in so many different ways. I also like corn just by itself because personally my 5-year-old loves to eat corn. Again, I can just throw this in his burrito. I can have it as a side dish, and you can just have a lot of variety with just these 3 ingredients. And again, these are full of, well, the edamame mix is full of fiber and protein. The corn is more for just some carbohydrates, and then the cheese will give you some protein and some healthy fats. So like I mentioned, I baked up some salmon, and the simplest way to cook salmon is, yes, get it fresh or make sure you defrost it, but just set your oven on 375 degrees, get a pan, put the salmon down, rub it on top with some extra virgin olive oil, and then just sprinkle some salt and some black pepper and cook it or bake it for about 35 to 40 minutes and you're done. So here I have some salmon. Salmon is a great source of protein and omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids. And it's just a perfect complement to a salad or to pair it with some black rice or with some sweet potatoes. You can put it in a burrito. Again, lots of variety with salmon, and it's a great protein source if you are not vegan or vegetarian. And then here I have some sweet potato or yams. I love this because it's a complex carbohydrate. The way I prepare these yams is I just steam it. So I get some water, I boil it, and then I put a basket on top. I cut this in pieces, and I just let it steam to the texture that I want it. I love to cut it into cubes because my 2-year-old daughter loves sweet potato just by itself. But again, you can pair it with the salmon, you can throw it over a salad, you can eat it by itself or pair it with some nuts for a really healthy snack. Over here I have tofu. So like I mentioned, if you are a vegan or a vegetarian and want a healthy protein source, tofu is a great protein source. Just be sure that you make sure it's non-GMO and organic. With tofu, with soy products, I definitely encourage you to get organic and non-GMO. And with the tofu, I prefer the extra firm. I get this one at Trader Joe's. I cut it into cubes. I just saute it in a pan in some avocado oil, and then I throw in some Bragg's aminos to give it some flavor, and there you go. And this one is also very versatile. You can throw it in burritos, you can throw it in a salad, you can have it with the side of brown rice or black rice or quinoa. It's just a great plant-based protein source. Here I have black rice. It's basically just rice. It's a healthy, complex carbohydrate. I do like black rice only because it has more of a nuttier and more firm texture. So when you're meal prepping, be conscious of textures and what you prefer most. You can also use brown rice or quinoa, but for this video, I just chose to use black rice because it's not so common. So be adventurous and play with different ingredients. Again, it's a great source of a complex carbohydrate. And over here, I have some mixed berries. And with the mixed berries, personally, I prefer to use frozen mixed berries for a few reasons. The first reason is if you get frozen mixed berries, they're actually cheaper when you buy them organic and they're frozen. And reason number 2 is when you put the frozen berries on something like overnight oats, and when the berries defrost, the kind of juice from the berries will automatically sweeten your dish up without you having to add any extra sugars. So especially if you are trying to manage your diabetes or reverse your pre-diabetes or lose weight, but you do want something that's naturally sweet, frozen berries will give you that extra burst of sweetness because when they defrost, it will automatically give away that juice that's just naturally sweet from the berries. All right, you guys, so this, I want you to think of these ingredients as kind of like your accessories. So right here we have some pumpkin seeds or pepitas. I know that's really common in the Latin community. And I want you to fall in love with pepitas or pumpkin seeds because you can sprinkle these onto your salads, you can sprinkle this onto your oatmeal, basically any dish, or just eat them as a snack. And they're such a great source of protein and fiber and micronutrients and iron, and they're just such a good accessory for you. They're a superfood because they're very low in calorie, but the amount of nutrients in them are packed. So definitely you want to keep something like pepitas in your pantry. Almond butter is another one of my staples that I love. I'm not necessarily in love with any particular brand. However, when you do get almond butter, you do want to be sure that it only has 1 or 2 ingredients. This one has dry roasted almonds, a little bit of oil and salt, and that's it. If you can find one that just has 1 or 2 ingredients, like the almonds and some oil, that's perfect. If you can find one that just has just almonds, is perfect as well. Almond butter is a great staple to your oatmeal, making almond butter sandwiches, great source of protein and also healthy fats. So I love almond butter. Chia seeds, I like to put them in this container. This was actually a water bottle, but I just use it to sprinkle my chia seeds because it has a spout. But chia seeds are actually full of calcium and protein and fiber and the healthy fats that you need. And I love chia seeds because you can sprinkle them onto your oatmeal, onto your salads, and turn any dish into a superfood dish just by sprinkling chia seed. So definitely want to keep that in your house. Something like cashews is a staple in my kitchen because first, my 5-year-old loves cashews. It's a great source of protein and healthy fats, and it's a nut that's allowed more in schools now, especially with the peanut allergies. So cashews is something that we keep in our house to also just sprinkle onto salads or to use it as a snack. Oatmeal is a great source of a complex carbohydrate, and I love oatmeal because you can use it in so many ways. You can make muffins with it. You can actually use it to just eat oatmeal like as a breakfast cereal. Right now, I'm going to show you how to make overnight oats, but you can even just make yourself an omelet and sprinkle some oatmeal in there and make it a full meal with complex carbohydrates and protein. So oatmeal is something that we definitely keep in our home, and it's very inexpensive. If you have a gluten allergy, then get gluten-free oats, but oatmeal is definitely a staple in our kitchen, and I highly recommend that you get this, especially if you're trying to manage your diabetes or reduce your risk of heart disease. Definitely a great thing to keep in the kitchen. Hemp seeds or some people in some stores are called hemp hearts. Hemp seeds are just another great staple because they're naturally gluten-free. They're high in iron, in magnesium, in protein, in healthy fats. To a lot of my clients that are anemic and have an iron deficiency, I highly recommend that they use hemp seeds because that means you don't have to eat a lot of red meat. So hemp seeds is just a great superfood that, again, you can just sprinkle onto your salads, throw into your shakes, or throw into any meal to increase the level of nutrients in your meal. So some of the ingredients that I have behind me, I am going to be demonstrating to you now how to put them all together into a meal. I'm going to be making some overnight oats, some salads, and some dishes that you can eat for lunch or for dinner, and also pack some snacks. But it's really important that you pay attention to the balance of proteins, carbohydrates, and fats so that each meal is balanced to keep you full throughout your day and keep your blood sugars steady throughout the entire day so you don't get these crazy crashes. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to be making is overnight oats. So you want to get your oatmeal, and I'm going to put half a cup of oatmeal. You're going to put it into this mason jar. Second ingredient is going to be my frozen berries that are now defrosted. I'm going to get about half a cup of those. I'm going to throw it into my mason jar. It's going to be a little tricky because it might be a little messy. Put that off to the side. And then the next ingredient is going to be about going to be almond butter. You're going to put about 1 tablespoon of almond butter. You might have to use your finger to get that out of there. I know, yucky. It's okay. Then the next ingredient is going to be your chia seeds. Remember that I put into this container. And for this, you want to use about 2 tablespoons. I'm just kind of guessing at this point. You can use 1. You can use 2 to 3 tablespoons. You can either use chia seeds or the pumpkin seeds, but for this one, I'm using about 3 spoonfuls of chia seed. Put that off to the side. And then the final ingredient is going to be your milk. You can either use almond milk or soy milk or cow milk, whatever you want. And I just kind of pour that over, just made a little mess, pour that over the cup. And then you want to grab your lid, close that up, give it a little bit of a shake, and put that in the refrigerator, and you have overnight oats. Tomorrow it's going to be ready and nice and thick and delicious. For this next dish, I'm going to do another salad. So I'm going to start with my bed of greens. And I'm going to just always put the bottom of your container with greens and salad. Again, this is just some kale, some romaine, some shredded lettuce, some shredded carrots, and cucumber. And then I'm going to add in a little bit of my salmon. I'm going to use 1 full little fillet. It's about 4 to 6 ounces. And then I'm going to add in some salmon just for some complex carbohydrates. I'm going to throw that off to the side. So there we go. And I'm going to sprinkle just a little bit of corn to the salad to add some color. And now we have beautiful salmon salad that's high in omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids and rich in protein. So for those of you that may not like too much salad but also want to get your vegetables in, we're going to do a plate combination without salad, but you're still going to be getting your vegetables. So for this, I'm going to start with this edamame, corn, and bell pepper mix and just put that over here to the side. I'm going to add a little bit of that. And then I'm going to add some of this sweet potato because you still want to get your vegetables in there and some complex carbohydrates. Oops, there we go. And then I'm going to sprinkle some of these pumpkin seeds for some added nutrition over that to the side. So there you have your healthy side without it being a salad. And then for this one, I am going again to use some of the salmon just for some of the healthy fat and protein. And this could be another example of a healthy dish without having to necessarily eat salad, but still getting your vegetables in. So for those of you, you might have a lot of food left over. I'm going to show you how to just make some snack containers to go when you don't want a big meal. So here I'm just going to add a little bit of tofu here. It's just going to be a mixture combination of everything you have left over. I'm going to add some of that sweet potato here. And then maybe I'm going to get a little creative and add in, a little bit of corn. And this is more of like a side dish. This could even be a little snack that you could take to work if you're not feeling too hungry, but just still want something that's balanced and full of fiber and protein, and it's going to keep you full. Another way to do a snack with the black rice is to just put it in a smaller container. This is one of my favorite snacks to eat actually. So I'll just get a little bit of black rice, and then I'll get a little bit of my cashews and I'll throw some in there. And this is like a perfect snack that I can just eat, and it has a little bit of a crunch, and I also get some of the complex carbohydrates, and it's just so yummy. And then one last example of a healthy snack that you could use with these small containers is just maybe grab some corn, throw it into your container, and then sprinkle a little bit of your cheese. Remember, I used vegan cheese for this one, but you can use whatever you want. Sprinkle some of that cheese. And then if you want to, you could even sprinkle some of the tofu. And this could also be a very healthy snack or just a smaller meal if you are not that hungry. So these are all the meals that we prepped for the week in less than 15 minutes. We have snacks, breakfast, we have healthy salads, even dinner, and it just took us less than 15 minutes to put this all together. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Brenda, Sillas, weight loss strategist and nutrition coach and mom of two. Please tag me and follow me on Instagram at Brenda Sillas. I'd love to see the pictures of your meal prepping and your wonderful dishes. And just a reminder that if you want to take advantage of my complimentary health history consultation, click on the link below because I'd love to help you out with your strategy and with your health journey.